In the heart of a bustling Chicago rush hour, where horns blared like angry thunder and cars zipped by in a relentless stream, a small golden retriever darted across the lanes of Interstate 90, its fur matted with rain and eyes wide with terror. The dog paused in the median, trembling as vehicles swerved dangerously close, oblivious to the fragile life caught in their path. Little did anyone know that this moment of chaos would spark a chain of compassion that echoed far beyond the asphalt, reminding a weary world that one act of bravery could mend broken hearts and forge unbreakable bonds. Ethan Harper gripped the steering wheel of his old pickup truck, his mind a whirlwind of worries. At 38, he was a single dad juggling two jobs, a mechanic by day and a delivery driver by night, to keep the lights on for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. She had been battling a rare autoimmune disorder for the past year, her hospital visits draining not just their savings but Ethan's spirit. That morning, Lily had woken up with a faint smile, whispering that she dreamed of a dog to keep her company during the long, lonely afternoons. Ethan had brushed it off with a forced grin, promising someday, but deep down, he felt the weight of his limitations crushing him. Now, stuck in traffic on his way to pick her up from after-school care, he spotted the dog, a flash of gold against the gray concrete, and his heart lurched. The retriever was limping slightly, one paw held gingerly off the ground, as if it had been hit or scraped in its desperate escape. Cars honked furiously as drivers veered to avoid it, but no one stopped. Ethan watched in horror as a semi-truck barreled down the lane, its massive tires humming like a predator. Without thinking, he slammed on his brakes, his truck screeching to a halt across 2 lanes. Horns erupted in a symphony of rage, but Ethan didn't care. He flung open his door and stepped out, arms raised high like a traffic cop in a storm. Drivers yelled obscenities from their windows, faces twisted in frustration, but Ethan stood firm, his voice booming over the din. "Stop. There's a dog out here." The traffic slowed to a crawl, then halted entirely as more vehicles piled up behind him. Ethan approached the dog slowly, his boots crunching on bits of gravel scattered across the highway. The animal whimpered, backing away at first, its tail tucked between its legs. Ethan knelt down, ignoring the blaring horns and the distant wail of sirens, probably someone calling the cops on this madman blocking the road. "Hey buddy," he murmured softly, extending a hand. "It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you." The dog sniffed tentatively, its brown eyes locking onto Ethan's, filled with a mix of fear and hope that mirrored the ache in his own chest. Memories flooded him, his late wife, Sarah, who had loved animals with a passion, always rescuing strays from the neighborhood. She would have done this without a second thought. Ethan felt a tear sting his eye as the dog inched closer, finally allowing him to scoop it up in his arms. But the challenges were just beginning. As Ethan carried the dog back to his truck, a burly man in a sedan leaped out, red-faced and furious. "What the hell do you think you're doing? You're causing a pileup." Ethan turned, the dog shivering against his chest. "This little guy's lost and hurt. Couldn't just leave him to die." The man paused, his anger faltering as he saw the dog's condition up close, a collar with a faded tag, no owner in sight. Around them, other drivers began to emerge from their cars, curiosity replacing irritation. A young woman in scrubs, perhaps a nurse on her way home from a shift, approached cautiously. "Is he okay? I have a blanket in my car. Let me help." What started as one man's bold stand turned into a ripple of unexpected kindness. The nurse, named Carla, wrapped the dog in her blanket while a retired veteran from a nearby SUV pulled out a water bottle, offering the pup a drink. Even the angry driver softened, using his phone to snap a photo of the dog's tag and post it on a local lost pets group online. Traffic was at a standstill now, but instead of chaos, a makeshift community formed on the highway. People shared stories of their own pets, laughing nervously to ease the tension. Ethan felt a warmth spread through him, a rare spark of connection in his isolated life. Yet doubt crept in. What if the dog had no home? What if this delay made him late for Lily, triggering another episode of her anxiety? As minutes ticked by, the dog's tag revealed a name, Max. The address etched faintly pointed to a suburb 20 miles away. Ethan's phone buzzed with a call from the school. Lily was waiting, growing worried. His heart twisted, but he couldn't abandon Max now. Carla offered to drive ahead and check on Lily, but Ethan shook his head. "I'll handle it." Just then, a police cruiser pulled up, lights flashing. The officer, a stern woman named Officer Reyes, stepped out, ready to issue tickets. But when she saw the scene, the dog safe in Ethan's arms, strangers united in care, her expression softened. "All right, folks," she said. "Let's get this cleared. You did good, sir. Real good." With the officer's escort, Ethan drove Max to the address on the tag, the highway finally flowing again behind them. The home was a modest ranch-style house in Oak Park, with a yard overgrown from neglect. Knocking on the door, Ethan's nerves frayed. An elderly woman answered, her face lined with exhaustion, eyes widening at the sight of Max. "Oh my God, Max!" She scooped the dog into her arms, tears streaming down her cheeks. "He's been missing for 2 days. I thought I'd lost him forever." Her name was Evelyn, a widow whose husband had passed 6 months earlier. Max was his dog, a loyal companion through years of illness. Evelyn explained how Max had slipped out during a storm, chasing a squirrel into the unknown. She'd searched tirelessly, posting flyers and calling shelters, but her arthritis made it hard to venture far. Without Max, the house felt empty, her grief amplified in the silence. Ethan listened, his own losses resonating deeply. Lily's mom, she loved dogs too, he shared quietly. Evelyn invited him in for coffee, and as they talked, Max curled up at her feet, content. The emotional twist came when Evelyn revealed a photo on her mantle, her granddaughter, visiting from out of state, who looked strikingly like Lily, same wide eyes, same hopeful smile. The girl had drawn a picture of Max, taped to the fridge. It hit Ethan like a wave. Kindness wasn't just saving a dog, it was weaving threads between strangers' lives. He called Lily, explaining the delay, and her voice brightened. "Daddy, you saved a puppy? That's like a superhero." As the sun dipped low, Ethan left Evelyn's home with a promise to visit again. Max licked his hand goodbye, and Evelyn hugged him tightly. "You're a hero, young man. Don't ever forget that." Driving to pick up Lily, Ethan felt lighter, the day's burdens lifted by the simple act of stopping. When he arrived, Lily ran into his arms, chattering about her dream dog. "Someday soon," he whispered, meaning it this time. In the days that followed, the story spread. Carla's social media post went viral, capturing the highway scene. Strangers donated to Lily's medical fund, and Evelyn invited them over for playdates with Max. Ethan realized that heroism wasn't about capes or grand gestures, it was about pausing in the rush of life to extend a hand, or a heart. This tale of a driver who stopped traffic to save a lost dog reminds us all that kindness is the quiet force that can halt the world's frenzy and heal its wounds. In a time when division seems to rule the roads, let's choose compassion over convenience. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button, subscribe to Pure Kindness Stories for more uplifting moments, and share it with someone who needs a reminder of the good in humanity. Together, we can keep the chain of kindness going.